PM.
Present.
Alicia, out tonight,
She's under the weather.
under the weather. Mark,
Here.
Bradley,
Here.
Myself, Ashley,
Here.
Steve, Larry,
Here.
Brad, and 1, 2, 3, 4 in the back. I'll do the invocation if you'll do the pledge. Heavenly Father, please watch over us tonight. Keep us safe, keep us healthy, and help us make the right decisions. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Do we have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda?
Yes, in front of you there is a packet. We have change orders 4A and number 5, and number 5 for the downtown improvement project. If you want to add those as item 4A, or do you want to go down further?
Yeah, we go 4A. Might as well get it. Okay. Get a motion.
Motion approved.
Okay, motion by Brad, second by Jake to add request of a change order 4A and number 5 for the downtown improvement project. Any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Motion carries. We're gonna make that
4A, right?
4A and yeah. Well, and number 5. No, yeah, it'd be 4A. I'm sorry. All right. So now I'm confused. All right. Item number 4, 4A.
You get to do the meeting minutes.
Okay. February 2024 regular meeting minutes.
Motion to approve February 20, 2024 regular meeting.
Motion by Jake,
Second.
seconded by Mark. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Unanimous. Discuss and or approve the March 6, 2024 regular meeting minutes.
Motion to approve March 6th.
Motion,
regular meeting minutes.
motion by Mark,
Second.
second by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, 4A. Request approval for change order 4A for the downtown improvement project.
Okay. We had originally received change order 4, which was to remove and dispose of an old 6-inch water main down here, cap the valve there, and while they're working in that project, they discovered another existing water main that was about 4 inches too high, so the drainage pipe would not go over top of it. So we had them install a deflection of the water main to go down under that drainage pipe. So we went back and revised change order 4 to $5,405. Basically, as far as the deflection of that, they were charging labor, but we supplied the materials. So except by having them add the deflection of that water main, that brought the price up to $5,405. From what was originally indicated as $4,700. I have provided an updated project sheet behind this also. Change order 5 was for the sidewalk, the 4-foot sidewalk along Avenue J over here. The price of doing the sidewalk is $14,113.40, but there's a credit of $56.5, so that net price is be $8,440.40. So looking at the updated spreadsheet, the cost of construction now is up to $1,193,425. That's about $228,000 over our old estimate for the project, which was done a couple years ago. And total project cost to $2,208,552. So the cost over the grant funding right now is $189,490. But like I said, I think we've identified to use ARPA funds for completion of the project. That's the only change order that we know right now. Hopefully, they finally got Riverside done, so hopefully there's no more water lines to come across or fix or remove. And like I said, this will put the sidewalks up to 4 feet around Avenue J.
That was my question there, is your, cost over funding, that 189, that's including the, $8,000 for the sidewalk?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
yes, sir.
the updated.
Okay.
Motion to approve change order 4A in the amount of $5,405. Is that what you need, Larry?
Yes. And then also change order 5.
You want to keep them both?
That's fine, you can do them separately. That's it.
Mark made a motion for,
Motion by number,
he said 4A. I'll second Mark's
But,
motion, is
okay.
what I was gonna say.
and how much did you say, Mark? I'm sorry.
$5,405.
54. All right. Motion by Mark, seconded by Jake to change order 5405. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries. All right. Thank you.
Y'all like that price? Go ahead, Mark.
We need a motion for 4B.
Yes.
For
That'd be
Five.
I'm sorry.
For five.
number 5.
Number 5.
84, 48, and 40 cents.
Motion by Mark to approve number 5, or change order number 5 for $8,448.40. Seconded by Brad. Any discussion?
I have a little bit right here.
Go ahead.
You notice that, when we asked them to do that change order, we just asked over along Avenue J because we weren't sure how much it was gonna cost. And it's a pretty good price, even without that deducted money right there. Would it be okay with y'all to ask Mr. Tibbs to ask for a change order to do the sidewalk in front of City Hall now? Because we're still with, I mean, we talked about putting almost $1 million of our own money into this and we haven't yet. So, can I ask Larry to move forward with putting a new sidewalk in front of City Hall and maybe a little piece right here that's already broke?
So I don't have a problem with that. I'm just trying to get it, how I want to do this motion, how I want to. So do you want to hold off on number
No, no,
5?
I'm for-
No, hold on.
Now vote on the motion first.
Okay,
and
Yeah,
then
okay.
it passed.
Well, can we do a
Just vote on the
with-
motion first.
Okay.
We passed it and it came to.
No, we got to,
No, not
do
the
the
second one.
question.
Okay.
All right.
Do the second one?
Got a
No,
motion.
got a motion and a second.
Yes, and then it came for the discussion.
Discussion. All in favor?
All right.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Now, can I?
Yes.
Can, Mr. Tibbs, it's the council's belief we would like you to go and ask for a change order from
Okay.
the end of the sidewalk down here on J to come to possibly to the new restroom, to the restrooms if it needs to go that.
Okay.
And I don't believe it's probably a shorter distance. All right.
Yep.
Very good.
You'll have to go to the curb over there.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, it only makes sense to square everything up while we're right there.
So you're giving me direction to get with the contractor about doing change order to do the sidewalks along Riverside and up okay.
Yeah. Do we need a motion for that?
Might as well, do it every time.
Or wait till we get a price and then,
Well, no, you're putting the change order in. Are you getting an estimate?
Again, that's,
getting an
No,
estimate?
then you don't need a motion.
Okay.
because we like the other price, so hopefully this
Yeah,
one,
that's good.
this is our, we want to try and get as much done before they pour asphalt.
Well, I was kind of hoping we
Need
could
to get
combine the
closer.
two together, maybe get an even better price, cause we got,
Concrete trucks coming.
Yep.
so. All right, thank you, guys.
all right. Item number 5, discuss and approve paying invoice 2136 from Clarion in the amount of $420 from the ARPA funds.
Motion to pay invoice 2136 from Clarion.
Second.
Motion by Jake, seconded by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 6, ratify the approval of resolution 2405 authorizing the project manager to supply for and administer grant funds provided by the FWC through the FBIP.
Oh, yeah.
Resolution 2024-05. A resolution of the city of Moorhaven, Florida, authorizing the project manager to apply for and administer grant funds provided by the Florida Wildlife Conservation Commission through the Florida Boating Improvement Program to install an additional 495 feet of seawall at the existing Moorhaven Marina.
Yeah, we need this.
The reason, this was short notice, we did get notified through the legislature this year, they did not fund this seawall project. So the Florida Boating Improvement Program grant is open. However, the deadline on it is March 20th. And it also, what's strange about this grant is that it has to be all original documents and it has to be hand delivered in Tallahassee. So that's why we had to get the resolution and all the documents up to the grant manager to get it in Tallahassee. So
Overnight.
Well, it was delivered.
that's why we're asking for ratification of applying for that.
Today.
grant.
We were high ranking once before on this. They don't get a lot of money. But, I make a motion.
Motion by Jake.
Second.
Okay, motion by Jake, seconded by Mark to
Approve resolution,
to
ratify the approval.
buy Clay a pair of glasses so he can see. Okay,
2024.
thank you, Mark. 2024 authorizing project manager to apply for and administer grant funds provided by the FWC through the FBIP. Any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Motion carries. Discuss and or approve proposal for engineering services from Craig A. Smith and Associates for water rate supply study in the amount of $17,400.
Okay, we have been looking at some huge increases in water, particularly in
There's one
chemicals
sitting
and
right
other expenses.
There's one sitting there.
Have drastically increased going back, particularly since COVID happened, kind of thing. So the study is really just to have them to look at a rate study to see if one obviously is warranted and also, to make a suggestion on what that rate increase should be if the council decides to enact it. But this is just the rate study itself. We have to have that done before we can, do any further action. So, like I said, that's why we had it here for you tonight.
I have, definitely, I know we've talked about raising utility rates and we want to be fair about it, but this $17,400, when you told Craig A. Smith that we wanted to do a study, how do they determine that? How do they determine $17,000, 400? How do they determine that?
If you, in the proposal, you'll see that they have 5 tasks.
Laid out, right?
Yeah, 5 tasks
So each
that
task,
they have to complete for this study.
so
Yes.
there's like an algorithm to doing this study. Is it something they're just coming up with?
Right, and then they plug in so many hours into each task, and then they go back to the rate that's in the continuing service agreement that they charge for engineers, whatever. But there are, like I said, the tasks listed in there for, and it's broken down about how the study has to be done.
When we did the school rate study, we didn't pay for that. We were a member of,
FMPA.
and we don't have an option like this on the
No.
water rate study.
No, we do not.
Now we're on our own.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mark, seconded by Brad to approve engineering services with Craig A. Smith and Associates for water rate supply study in the amount of $17,400. All, any discussion? All in favor?
Alright,
Motion carries.
Where are we with that grant application for the water?
the new well,
We applied for a grant. It did not, we did not get this cycle, but it opens back up in June. The FDEP grant for it opens back up in June.
So even then, that included the redundancy at the plant?
Yes, it included putting in the second train at the water plant. And I think it also included the deep well. But like I said, we had split that for a grant within the last month or so. That grant, we did not score high enough. But like I said, the portal opens back up in June, so we'll try to get it. And this time we got to tailor, I was talking to Connie, we're going to tailor our analysis a little stronger. So that now we know what they're looking for in that grant. They're looking for nutrient reduction. So we'll tailor our grant application to that. And try to address that, see if we can get us.
The problem though is that we need to really address the redundancy in the plan. So now you're gonna wait till June to apply and then wait till the end of the fiscal year and you're another year behind. So while you're working on a water rate study, we need to probably see what you're gonna do about that because that's critical. When you have cap for the work.
Water and electricity, yes.
What was the price, the total price with the well and the
It
redundancy?
was 5.2, I think 5.2 million.
Does one of those categories in the rate study talk about future expansion or?
It does look at the amount of what reserves you do have and then what's planned. Yes.
I don't know if you can or you want to break it apart, but I think we need to look at that sooner or later instead of waiting. I mean, I could, maybe you look at that grant application and come back at the next meeting and talk about it a little bit to see what direction you guys want to go with it.
I imagine Connie will be at the next.
Yeah,
meeting
and that
also.
would be nice. If Connie was here, we'd kind of talk to her.
And give her a heads up before the meeting. She might be able to have info for us also. Yeah, because they're not adding water customers very fast.
Adding water, but they ain't adding
They're not
customers.
adding their own kind.
Yep.
Well, keep in mind too, it's not so much for the growth part. I mean, the extra well is needed, obviously, but it's for the redundancy in the plant that's needed. So, which obviously is a big bullet to bite without looking at increasing tremendously your customer base, but the alternative is not good. So
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Or what are you wanting to say? Combine the two, the study and the
Not necessarily combine the study, but one of the critical areas that's been identified is we need the backup train. And you have a situation where, okay, we were putting it off. We had talked about it at other meetings, and obviously the grant was in progress, and we didn't want to take part of it out and perhaps hurt our chances at the grant. But now that we're down the tubes with the grant,
But with that amount of money, we're gonna have either grant assistance or legislative assistance.
some sort of
We're not, there's no way. that we're gonna tackle that.
5.2 is a large chunk.
but I don't know if it could be broken out
Broken up
a little bit better to maybe address some immediacy, and then we have longer term
Yeah, we have
goals.
to,
So I wasn't sure, in that study, to me, that's more relevant than,
okay.
In a water rate study.
Mhm.
We have electricity coming up.
Yeah.
Soon.
Okay. Item number 8,
Oh, yeah.
discussion of proposed changes to the personnel rules regulations, chapter 2.1D, license requirement, as presented at the January 16th, 2024 council meeting.
Back on January 16th, we had this was on the agenda to look at possibly changing chapter 2.1D of the personnel rules and regulations that could define their two categories. Those employees that operate equipment that requires a valid state chauffeur or operator license, we still have to have license, but you give the option for employees that are hired to operate equipment not requiring a state license, hired under that new definition. Like I said, it gives an option. There are many positions that they have that's, in particular, the high turnover ones, and like Parks and Recreation, and those that if we just recently let a couple of people go this week. They left. But it give another option in there for if we can find someone that has some experience and can operate some of the equipment that we're talking about. Obviously, we still have to do background checks on everybody, drug and alcohol checks, all that kind of thing. There's no, that's still part of our drug workplace treatment program. So like I said, Commissioner Smith said, Councilman Smith said, mentioned about putting this back on the agenda for tonight. So that's kind of the background on it. That you want to go back and review it again and see if that's the option that you want to go with, an option you might want to go with.
So you found so employees hired to operate equipment not requiring a state license can operate side by side, a mower, golf cart. But they don't require a license, but cannot operate any vehicle equipment requiring a license. So a tractor, they get off farm equipment, basically what I call it. That's what you found, right?
So, with that said, what does that do? Does that affect our insurance then?
We still carry full insurance on all of our equipment, and in addition to personnel.
You're down, I know back when this was on here in January, I know you had said you were down 3 or 4 people. And now I got your axe out today.
Still down to.
And you're going into summertime.
Isn't there a few applications that was, they put in, but are they still, they're still active? Okay.
So if we change this and you were to hire somebody without a driver's license, what are you gonna make them do? Like when they come to work Monday, what, mow, weed eat?
Heater, blower, sprayer.
They're not driving Ace everywhere.
They're called driving equipment.
How much do we, total US?
Who's before me? You have to put on paperwork.
A lot more than 3 million.
We might be on the high side. It's probably too. Like closer to 4.
Larry, what does Belgrade
I
do?
don't remember. I have to pull it out and look.
Do they, what is their policy on this?
The, if they're, hard in, like Parks and Recreation, if they're not assigned a vehicle, they're not required to have a license. But like I said, if they, at any particular time operating, a licensed vehicle, they cannot operate that since they're not hired with a license. So they typically are operating, mowing equipment, that type of thing.
And the gators, refresh my memory on the gators, Steve. Is it considered a farm equipment?
I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and,
From what I understand, they can't drive a gator.
I know
Pat's back there.
there are a couple of the government agents that do have people without driver's license. Local.
Mhm. All right, what's y'all's pleasure?
Make a motion for the proposed changes to the personnel rules and regulations, chapter 2.1D, license requirements presented at the January 16th, 2024 council meeting.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Jake, seconded by Brad to propose changes to personnel rules and regulations, chapter 2.1, license requirement as presented
I gotta
at the
go.
January 16th, 2024 meeting. Is there any discussion? I'd like to make a suggestion, because I think I know how this is gonna go. Can we table this until Alicia can get here?
well, why don't you just vote, and if it's a tie, then you can always bring it back up again. But if you table it, then you have to you would continue it to the next meeting. You can do that, but if you table, then you gotta bring it back up anyway. So
All right, all in favor?
Hold on here. Yeah, he said we can, motion's on the table, but
Motion's on the table,
we can continue it.
or we
you
can,
can amend to continue this discussion to the next meeting and vote.
right,
But I mean, either way, it's the same thing. You're just putting it back on the agenda, call it back up, because then Spec will be
Yeah.
here and they're gonna re-talk about everything anyway. So if you have a motion, might as well just vote. And if it's a tie, then you can always bring it back up again. Either way, you're bringing it back up. So
okay.
if it doesn't pass, if it passes, then
Yeah, it's
it's
over, right, okay. Well, let's
I made the motion. Pat said-
there's discussion, all in favor,
Aye.
all opposed.
All right.
Motion is a tie. So we'll put it on for the next time.
Yeah.
All right. Item number 9, discussion regarding the Glades Historical Society.
I had this put on here, when we sold the historical, that money came into our bank account, not our property. You know, I mean, we didn't really do a whole lot. I did bring it up then, but there was a remaining balance in the checking account that had Andy Shell's name on it. And actually, we received the money as a donation to the city of Moorhaven, correct?
Yeah.
Donation to the city of Moorhaven. And
Yeah.
the history room at the library, they want a machine like what Reward has to make these maps and things of this. It's a pretty expensive machine. The amount that we just received as a donation is not really enough to get them started, but that money isn't ours either. I'd like to earmark that money for the history room at the library, because they're in the process of getting the room going. They're going to purchase this machine and put it in there.
How much is the machine?
The machine's $10,000. So
Well, I can tell you from experience, you don't just go find that damn
No.
map. I 3 days looking for somebody to make a map for me the other day.
and what they're trying to do is a lot of the stuff that was in the West Guard house, a lot of stuff that's in the history room now, it's, you know, cut out newspaper clippings. This machine will, you feed it into it and it puts it, it's not your zip drive anymore. It's something bigger. You could put all Glades County's history on one. But I'm asking to earmark this. Was the actually, do you know, was, well, for the amount of the donation, I'd like
It's,
to earmark.
I think I got a copy of that check.
Yeah, I gave you a copy.
Yes, I
Like
think it's
500?
30, yeah, 34,
32,
35, something like that. I had to call you, tell them, see to my truck.
So whatever that donation was.
And it has to be in her name,
Well, we're gonna,
if I'm not mistaken.
I'm gonna
No,
let.
he
Mrs.
just wants us to write a letter
Okay,
to her.
okay.
Their
Yeah.
bank accounts are at the courthouse, but I thought we would just hold on to the money ourselves instead of giving it to the courthouse. That way, when they got their room together and were ready to purchase the machine, then we could write the donation check to the history room of the library. So I'm asking for, I guess I'm making a motion to donate the $3,500 to the history room at the library, earmark it for that. It wasn't, we didn't do anything to acquire that money.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion by Jake, seconded by Mark to earmark $3,500 from the historical house, Western Guard house to the Historical Society room at the library. Any discussion? I think we have to before we vote, I'm pretty sure we have to write a letter. What I read, it has to go to
Miss Ann Coffee.
Miss Coffee. Yeah.
It would be,
So we just write it and sign it and,
it probably would go to, it's probably gonna go to Garnet Ader, and I think Garnet has stepped in for Miss Coffee, because
I got a copy of the letter that he sent me in the truck.
how do we have to make it?
Yeah, whatever we gotta do. So, all right. Any further questions?
You had asked about how long it was gonna take to generate that
Do
money.
they have an idea how
They,
long?
they have bank accounts at the courthouse, but some of those are just like this. It's earmarked for certain different things. So they haven't gotten that far. And I've encouraged them to get that far because I brought up the sale of the house. We put that money in our bank account. We didn't do anything to get that money. So in the long run, if that money in my mind should be earmarked to them also, but we'll cross that bridge if they come back to us.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Discuss supporting the county and water treatment areas. Jake, you want to handle
I
this?
do, Mr. Mooney. The city council wants to, well, we talked a little bit about it, but we'd like to form a resolution and join with the county because of the water crisis that we have in Glades County. They recently acquired another 18,000 acres just outside of town to store water on,
Who acquired it?
South Florida Water Management. And
This is the deal, Steve, not to interrupt you.
Well, is it, no, I'm aware of it because I was at the county meeting when it was discussed, but
And we want
is
to,
it habitat? Is it endangered
yes,
species habitat?
it's,
what do you mean, like there's panthers and bears?
Because
out
there was
there?
recently a federal case that enjoined,
Okay.
yes.
So, with that being said, in late February, a state judge put a moratorium on issuing these permits. A federal
Federal.
judge, excuse me. And immediately after that, the Lee County Commission sent a letter to the governor's office asking him to step in. There hasn't been a response
From the
yet,
governor.
but the Florida League of Cities has sent us a letter and asked us that if we have any projects in our county that we're involved with, which we are not involved with that, it's basically any information that you provide in a letter to, it would, we want to share our displeasure.
I need
I don't have
what you
anything.
have.
Okay, so I'm having to make sure, the water in Glades County, it's a federal and state problem. It's not a Glades County problem, and they're taking $18,000 off the tax roll acres, and he and I and him, we're gonna have to pay for that. So they're already taking a rural strained county, and you ask them a question about, they say, well, it's just farmland. Well, where the Walmart's at in Lewiston, it's
Was
just farmland.
farmland.
It was just farmland, and now there's a Walmart and a huge tax base there. But Mr. Pringle is working with this, and I'm asking the council to let Steve to call Mr. Pringle to see if he first will answer you,
I spoke to him this morning.
okay,
We spoke a little bit about it.
about this resolution. This needs to have some teeth in it. And they talk about, well, like we have this 80 acres down here that's just sitting on the river. Well, that 80
Holds
acres,
pipes.
yeah, holds pipes. Well, if in case they ever have to demuck the river, they're going to use that 80 acres. Well, they're never going to demuck the river. And, as a bargaining chip, maybe this 80 acres could fall into the city or the county's hands. But we don't have the buying power to stop anything like this, but we can definitely let them know displeasure, and maybe they can store some of the water in Orlando where it came from.
Yeah, just get that.
Lee County wants to store
It's-
water, put it in Lee County.
It's clearly, evident that they didn't build the dike to protect us. They built the dike to store water, is what they've done. And we're storing their water, we're taking their garbage, and we're selling them our dirt for their beaches. And at some point in time, you just can't do it anymore.
And I think, if you don't mind me interrupting here, we want one resolution to show our support for the county commission. And then I think we want our own resolution saying, hey, we are against this.
Yes, sir. Exactly what.
And look, for y'all in the audience, we're not making a big deal out of nothing here. You're talking about taking 18,000 acres that's paying taxes right now, and combined to what they've already taken, combined with the South Doodle land that's gone. Well, once that money goes, it's in lieu of taxes. I can't speak on the property deal. I don't know how that's going to be taxed, but I can just about say it won't be what it is now. Well, Glades County only gets X amount of dollars now. When they take all this stuff out of the tax roll, it's even less.
We gotta make up the
And we got to make up difference. That means fires, ambulances, schools, cities. We got to pay for it somehow.
Already
And if-
poorly constrained.
Right. And if they keep taking from us, we ain't got to worry about 50 feet of Challenger grounds, because there ain't gonna be no Challenger grounds. We can float across there. So
And then a lot of this stems from the $200,000 that they just gave us to do a study on sea rise. But at the same time, they've got us trapped in water and are continuing to purchase more Glades County property. So, but we need a good strong letter, hopefully that to keep this moratorium in place for
Yeah.
lots of years. Please.
Okay.
In other words, what he's saying is do the best job you
Yeah,
can,
best, man.
and then step back and do it again, tighten it up.
All right, that's all I have.
Thank you. I think we're good. Do we need a motion? Or you good? All right. Report of officer, city manager.
There's a meeting on Thursday. I guess the Southwest Regional Planning Council received a grant, I think about $500,000 for brownfield studies. They're having a meeting next here on Thursday. I don't know all the details on it yet, but I'll be over there. Like I said, because it said a couple of years ago, they had a lot of those grants come through where we did level 1s and level 2s for a lot of properties here in Moorhaven. So, I see this is actually the brownfield money. This is actually for cleanup, or is it more planning? I'll try to find out some more at this meeting on Thursday.
And Rosemary at the EDC office, she should have a list of properties that we spoke about here, putting on the
That's
list.
the
And some of them
picture.
she checked them off, but we'll check with her tomorrow. She may have some properties that didn't get done.
The one right there at
Add
the
that
red light.
Baez property to it.
Yeah, and the one right there at the red light at the old Phillips 66,
Oh, yes. I know what
across
you're
from the courthouse.
talking about. Yeah. That one was on the list and they just
Okay.
couldn't get there.
Good deal.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Larry. Does anybody got anything for Larry?
Where, you got an update on any of that, Mr. Tibbs, Brad, either one of you?
They haven't given me a time frame on when they're gonna get back started on that project. I have talked to David about the Avenue H, and it's interior. But we gonna
For
figure it out.
the rails and all that, right? Or, yeah. When you have
Lift
any,
station.
yes, sir. Gotcha. Yeah, cause I had, the people over there asked, I told them we had a meeting, so we don't have an update. Let's see if we can get one this week, or I'll call David and ask him, give me a better update. Find out.
Okay. Larry, Steve?
Can we go back to this rate study?
Sure.
Was there some legal reason we have to do this rate study now and spend 17,000 when
No.
we're in flux for what we need to do with our system?
No, I think we requested it. Actually, I said, the problem is the expenses, the everyday expenses on water is up dramatically.
Right.
So, yeah, so we're, so
And we talked about going up on our water. Whether we could-
Well, yeah, we have to have, I understand we have to have a rate study. To me though, it's a big number, 5 million. We have some money, maybe we can get some grant, but at some point, we've been talking about the expansion on the water plant, what really needed to be done for quite some time. To me, it'd be better to figure out what we want to do and then do the rate study with the different scenarios. And when we get more,
It's been identified what we want to do at the water plant. We just don't.
and they're going to address it as far as in the rate study, or we're relying on 100% grant, or we're not going to move forward. That's the problem.
well, as far as that with the water plant expansion, if you, I don't know, you're not in a simple rate study. That's gonna have to be a lot.
No, I understand. It's much more involved,
Yeah.
much more expensive.
Well, you don't know what you need.
Well, we know what we
We
need.
know what we need. We just don't have, we're gonna pay for it.
Right. That's why I was asking Ashley on what's our status of the USDA bond issue and where we're at. I mean, is it gonna matter if we wait 30 to to authorize them to do a rate study, and maybe we take a look at some other issues too.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, there's, like I said, we requested that rate study.
Yeah, and then we're
based
gonna get, it says, okay, we find that you need to raise, and this is a
But that's more
current-
of a immediate.
current
impact. What you're
affairs,
talking about
right?
With the water plant thing, we're talking, what we do is 2 years down the road.
And then they'll raise the rate on the rate study.
No, I understand.
Well, and Connie will be back this week, this next meeting. I was sure she'd be here. She may have something right off the top of her head that another avenue.
Okay. On the road vacation, I actually just received today the legal description and the sketch. I shared with Brad to make sure it was what we want out there, so I'll go ahead and get that ordinance started.
You know if the judge got the paperwork signed on Baez?
He's appealing, so,
Baez is appealing?
Send it the next day.
yeah, because there's 29 days information. Yeah,
So we've got 30 days before court again, is that?
No.
No?
no, would be under appeal, but I could still go back to court, but I understand there's actually an eviction hearing in April
Yeah, I just looked it up,
for
April 18th.
Ogletree.
So,
Okay.
'cause I'm curious on this, how, if he's not the property owner, how can he,
I would agree, but anybody has the right to appeal the court.
so let me ask him,
Found
if he's
him.
evicted before he gets appealed,
I don't know, there's a lot of possibilities, yeah. So that might actually be the quickest course of action. So the judge already in the code enforcement case found it to be a junkyard. And the lease that Ogletree has, that I've seen, does not allow it to be a junkyard, it has to be that boat repair facility, which it is not, so. So that'll probably be the next, I'd say it's in about 3 weeks.
Okay.
I don't know the exact
18th.
18,
I just looked it up.
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
18.
And then I hadn't heard back from the church on the land swap, so I had my assistant call. I forget her name from the church, and apparently they just met yesterday, so we have the full names of who their directors are. Because, like I said at the last meeting, I'm going to prepare a resolution to record with the deeds this way, because the church hasn't really done their legal diligence in terms of what's needed in a corporation status. So, but I'll clean it up. So that's it.
okay.
Thanks.
Anybody got anything for Larry? Steve?
I already got insulted.
Okay, I'm sorry, Steve. Definitely sorry, Larry. Okay, Craig A. Smith, CAS, Brad.
I really don't have a whole lot. We do have two of the power company contractors that put in bids for the the pole change up. Got two more that are supposed to give us some bids on it. I think one of them was in here looking at it today. He'll probably come back tomorrow and finish that up. So we should have a third bid for sure. Other company wasn't real sure if they wanted to bid on it or not. Handrails for the pavilion down here there in. I've got to go get some bolts, concrete bolts from tomorrow, and we'll have them as soon as I can get to it. And the only other thing is fall season, so we have to spend a little time down there cleaning up every day and making sure that's sufficient for everybody.
Can I ask you, who were companies that bid on that pole change out?
USLC and DeSoto was working on
SPE.
What was it?
SPE
SP
out of Jacksonville, I believe.
and Prime Horses. Waiting on them to
Uh-huh.
Brad, man.
Thank you.
by any chance you ever get with anybody to kind of help on call or something if something was?
Kind of lured that out, dang that out in front of them for bidding jobs and said, hey, let's kind of talk about that as we.
Just something to help King out, cause it's getting that time of year, I'm sure he's getting tired. So. All right. Anybody got anything for Brad? All right. Item 12, approval of the bills in the amount of $78,299.14.
Motion to approve the bills?
Motion by Jake,
Second.
seconded by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Citizen comments, general concerns, speakers are limited to 3 minutes. All right, who's up? Who's first? You speaking tonight? No, I'm looking at you. You know what I'm looking at. I mean, you can send Winifred up. She'd probably be better, but you know.
Probably would be, but sorry I missed the last meeting. But Gary Blake. But just to follow up, did we do a follow up? You know, last time we talked about the ditch along Tobias,
Right.
right? And then we found out that we looked at the wrong location. We should.
But the ditch, if I'm not mistaken, the ditch is still
It's still the county.
the county ditch. And I understand I was misquoted in a conversation. That ditch, and I don't have a map. If you get with Larry, okay, that is the county easement. So the county would have to do, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken,
that,
the
that
county
ditch
would have to
itself is the
do
county's.
the deal. If you're gonna fill it in.
No. And again, that was the other part. I wasn't looking at filling it in.
Right.
We were talking about putting caissons, covering it.
We don't
Yeah.
have jurisdiction.
We don't have,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
we don't even
understand.
have that jurisdiction, right?
Understood. I was just trying to get that part. I guess what I was trying to do is try to find out what avenue we need to go to. And I guess this is the wrong place to do it. I need to ask them now of what we need to do. I know there's probably going to be involvement with the Corps of Engineers. Possibly, I've heard that. And also, like you said, if you look on the map that we got from the
Property appraiser.
property appraiser, it actually shows that.
You can't go by what the property, in fact, there's a disclosure right on there. It says, do not use this as the depiction of what the lines are.
It's not exact.
You have to go by the legal descriptions.
Understood.
Yeah.
So
but-
just because you told me that it's on this side versus that side, what do I gotta go by? I go by your word, or do I go by a document that says, here's where it is and here's where it is? That's all I'm trying to-
But when the document gives a disclosure that you can't use it to rely on, you can't use that document. You would have to do it and look at the chain of title if you were going to, let's say, investigate it fully. But maybe the way to start would be to go to the road department in the county, because it's Archie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and to see what the process they would use to consider doing that.
Who's the commissioner in there?
Hey. Hey, Taylor.
But all the time, so even like the legal description of property appraisal is not the accurate legal description, even though it looks like it's a legal description. Again, to disclose, it's not. So, and this happens all the time. I have people all the time relying on that, but you can't. So I would start with the road department over there, and then if there's something where the council can support you with, resolution, even like they just talked about, to get that done with the county, then they could revisit it at that point. But until you run the gauntlet with the county, there's nothing we can do about
Did you talk to June Fisher, the
I've
county
talked-
manager?
You
I've
talked to the
talked to
county?
June, but I talk to her specifically because, like I said, the understanding that and I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. The understanding was where the guardrail is. The guardrail going south, I guess that would be the right direction. Guardrail south is city.
Okay, and I think that in lies the issue. The where the ditch is falls under, from the map that I saw, falls under the county's jurisdiction, their easement. But those houses that are through there's 3-4 houses are city houses. They fall in the city limits. So
The only way I could answer it is I'd have to have either the surveyor go out there, because to even do that kind of title search, it may not give you an answer. It might money and you still don't have a definitive answer. You would have to have it really surveyed or look to see what the road department has of record.
Who
So
usually clean out the ditch when it needs to get
Not
kicker.
okay, so it won't let me print
County
from here.
cleans out the ditch?
yeah,
And so you're assuming that
That's a
on the
good
other
answer.
side of the ditch, going, I guess you call it
South,
south, is city. So that means all those houses on that
are in the
side
city,
in the city.
correct.
And so,
But there's an easement for, according to this map,
yes,
there's an easement. The county has an easement. That's how you drain Washington Park.
County drainage.
Yeah, county drainage easement.
Oh, so the ditch is within their easement.
Yeah,
Yeah, then they would typically, now, the ownership underlying property would be the city, but the county would have to agree because they're the owner of the easement. So they have the benefit of the easement upon the city land. It's like, we can't extinguish the county's easement. You have to go to the county to see what they're willing to give up or change as far as how they maintain their easement. Then it would come back. Because it really doesn't matter to us, because it's the county that owns that right to maintain that piece of property. Just like an easement for ingress or egress coming in, like any other easement. Yeah, the dominant owner is the easement owner. The servient owner is the underlying ownership of the land that the easement's upon. So that's why we can't do anything for you, the county, if that's the case.
Mhm.
So
okay.
we don't really care, because if the county's good with it, we have no issue legally with it. We wouldn't have any issue legally with it, because that baby's all the county. Now, if we had some part where we partook in how we did the drainage or whatever the case may be, or maintenance, that would be a different story. So
Okay.
man, I know it's frustrating. I swear I do, cause I've had 2 phone calls about this. That's
Well,
you
I'm just trying to plow the ground again.
no, I understand totally what you're doing, but
Get that taken care of one way or the other. 'Cause
But
we had the same
I
thing.
think the right route for you to go is to June, then to Hattie, or Hattie and June.
Have you
Maybe
spoken
get
to
Archie
water?
involved.
Did you say that water management would be involved, or who did you?
Well,
No, he said
again,
Core.
they, again, when we brought it up initially, that came up because I brought it up before the board.
I don't think.
And when I brought it up before the board, it came back to, well, we don't even think that's ours because of,
No, that was Hattie that said that.
Hattie said that.
Yeah.
But we brought it up before the board.
Yeah.
And so only thing I wanted to do is say, okay, if someone could kind of be able to give us an idea of where we need to start, if we need to go to find someone to get additional funding.
If it was me and you guys came to me as a client, I'd say we would go to Archie. Because if they have the responsibility to maintain that easement, he's the one that's on the ground responsible for it. And then see if what you're proposing would be an acceptable avenue to work with. So that's how I would start. I wouldn't start at the top, because I think you need to figure out
If it's still,
what's practical, doable from on the ground people, and then take it up to the county manager or the county commissioner.
Okay, well, it's practical, but it's doable, everything doable.
Well,
You want to put money.
But that's their doable
Yeah.
to do. So.
Okay, well, at least you say you'll donate the dirt if I need some.
Mr. Blake, if you can, reach Archie, try, Bobby Reese.
Yeah.
Bobby Reese is, he's Archie, left-hand man or right-hand man, so try Bobby
And if
Reese.
they have confusion about what they can or what they can't do because they don't think they can, then they probably would need to speak to their attorney,
Right.
and then he would tell them what I just told you, that it's their easement. So what do you guys need it for? Do you need it? Yes, okay. Can you make alterations or modifications or whatever is being requested? That's their baby, totally.
Because of the drainage.
Yeah, because.
It's their drainage.
Yeah, because it's their drainage easement.
Yeah, the only thing, it's not, it's just going down. It's not going in.
Well, yeah, whether it's, yeah.
But anyway, that's one thing. All right, thank you. So like I said, I'm just trying to follow up. To
Yeah.
figure out which way I need to go.
Mhm.
And the obvious thing is if they said it was yours, ask you. But now that they say you say it's
It's
theirs.
their easement.
Now I go back.
It's our underlying land, their easement.
Got it. Thank you.
That was dirty pool by them not telling you we didn't have a meeting that Tuesday. When we had it on Wednesday, you sat up here and waited on us. That was dirty pool.
I waited about 5 minutes. Came and knocked on the door. Nobody's there.
Nobody's home.
It
Thank
hard,
you.
that hardly ever happens, but it happened that
We did that,
hardly ever
yeah.
happens.
That was the first time I ever.
Yeah, yeah. Some Mr. Tibbs is doing.
Anyone else?
That was mine and his.
Okay. Mayor and council give reports. Jake?
I don't have anything, I don't have anything at this time.
Okay. Mark?
I was looking for a code enforcement report. Does anybody know if she got rid of those chickens over there?
Which one
It
is
was
that?
on last month's report.
I didn't, I went around to 2 of them. There were 3 on there. I didn't see them at 2 places, but I didn't go to the 3rd one. I didn't see them on there. No, sir.
One was a rooster.
Avenue R, they're gone. The ones I'm aware of,
All right, thanks.
for sure.
Feel like the-
All right. Brad, you got anything?
No, sir.
I'm good. So, anybody got anything for us? We're good.
Was it?
What?
I just, I wanted to reiterate how important it was on that resolution
Yes.
to Mr. Mooney to
That
spend
is
some
very
time reaching
important.
out to Ms. Pringle.
My understanding that the, county, a couple of the elected officials have agreed to do this. I think, yeah, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, the school board has,
And we'll be speaking about it at our EDC tomorrow.
Yeah.
With Likes Brothers there.
Yeah. ain't nothing against Likes Brothers, it's
No, it's not.
survival.
No, and it's not against the water study
No.
money that we're giving to Craig. It's
We
just
get to
the
have
fact
some, we either fight it this way or we,
that
or we ain't
$200,000
here.
to either go to higher ground.
Yeah. All right. Discuss financial statement. Item 16. Motion by Mark, seconded by Brad. Any discussion? We're adjourned.
Good night, gentlemen. And ma'am. I will talk to you on the other.
Stay well.
Okay.
Bye.